outside on my deck. I just didn't want to go in the house. So hopefully there won't be too many motorcycles or really loud trucks passing by as we have like a little lunch and grow conversation about money. Is that okay with you guys? So first, I'm hosting a money mindset masterclass this Saturday, and the price increases on Friday. So if you've been wanting to get in and you want to be able to get in at an amazing rate, you may want to go and do that. I'll leave the link in the comments. It may be somewhere in the midst. But as one of the things about being in alignment with whatever it is that you're doing is making sure that you are in the state of mind for that particular thing. So for me, when I'm about to host a class or a course, a mastermind, or something of that nature, even be on the phone with a client, I mean, it's just so important to me that I'm in alignment. And that's one of the reasons why time freedom is like super important to me. It's one of the reasons why I'm setting up my life to be able to have the downtime that I need, the time to study, press in, or just really get in alignment with what I'm doing is like so major to me. And it impacts the way I earn money. It impacts the how in what I'm doing. I was recently on a call with a client and we were kind of going over things that she valued. And you guys may hear me talk about this all the time, quite often. But I believe it's so important to like recheck your value systems periodically, maybe every 6 months, every year, depending on how strong you are in the area of your values. But I think it's super, and I may slow down and pause every now and then because of traffic. If you could, as you come on, let me know if you can actually hear me. I don't plan on moving, but I will stop to hey hair and beauty, volume hair and beauty. How are you? I will stop because of traffic and things like that. I just didn't want to be on the inside today. You guys ever felt like that? Like you just really just want to still be in nature. And so I spend a lot of my time out here. I do some of my client calls out here if it's by phone, if they can hear. And I do a lot of my studying and things out here. And I was like, hey, I'm just going to pop on, be brief, and we're going to talk about your relationship with money. Your relationship with money. As you're coming on, let me know your name, what type of business you serve, how do you serve in the marketplace? Hey, Andrea, how do people get to experience your gifts? Secondly, if this isn't your first time, just put hashtag renew, which is what we do often around here. Scripture says that our lives are transformed by the renewing of our minds. I am a witness to that. Three of the things that I focus on in my business as I'm helping people is personal growth, abundant mindset, and business building. So I kind of couple those three things and we figure out how can we renew our mind in a space that puts us in alignment with the highest level of growth in those areas. I see that hashtag renew, and I appreciate. I saw two people sharing the broadcast. One of the things that really prompted me to focus heavily on money, I believe, when I look back, were my parents. So, learning about my family history, some of you may know that I researched my family tree in 2001, and I just grew really interested in the why in my families and things of that nature. Also, opening my first brick and mortar service based business. That was back in 2003. I owned that for about 10 years. And if you guys don't know that your money is going to come up when you have staff that you are actually signing paychecks for them to live out their lives, and your business is the foundation, which means your mind that's developing the business is the foundation to make sure everybody eating, right? Along with the fact that they are doing their part as well, learning to hire properly, hiring people who could actually regulate the systems that I was creating so the business would continue to be successful. At some point, money comes up in that when you're looking at your profit and loss statement, all those things. Money definitely comes up, and I took a great interest in wealth and wealth building. And um, I learned that my father bought his first car at the age of 16 from selling newspapers. Now, I'm past 40, guys, so do the math on my dad and how far back this was and what the cost of a newspaper was. Like, it was a small amount. But he was consistent and determined, and he saved money by just selling newspapers to actually buy, a car full out. I remember my dad really sharing with me to like save my money, right? So my mom was, um, I don't even know if she was more of a spender than my dad was, because my dad made really large purchases. I think they both were born with a level of drive and determination that really changed a lot of the legacy that my daughter will get to experience, and then my daughter's children will get to experience. And just in that plight, I began to really evaluate people around me, not to be in their business. I think it's just this thing, right? Um, Especially with my close girlfriends and having worked with so many women. I mean, I've probably had thousands, literally, of conversations with women. And, several of those conversations were about relationships and money. At the end of the day, it boiled down to maybe one or two or both of those things. And so I took a liking in money. I also had a moment with what I call an angel, right? Who really made me aware of how much money I was earning. Call it crazy, but many people are not really aware of what they're earning and the value of what it is that they're earning. And so they may live a life that's less than what they actually could be experiencing just because of not knowing. And one of the things I learned is that we all have a relationship with money. And I'm going to make it like real practical, as if we're talking about real relationships, like you go with your money. How's that sound to you guys? But we all have a relationship with money. We all have a money story. A lot of it is connected to how we saw money in the home, how we experienced it, whether we experienced it from a place of lack or a place of plenty, or even a place of stability. Does that make sense? Because I know people who've had a lot of money running through their household, right? But there was not necessarily any stability or any growth or any wealth building that came along with that. Now, listen, if you guys are really listening to me and hearing me, and I want you to make this really personal, I want you to really think and connect this to your own story, right? Your own relationship with money. Because I'll hear people say, so maybe they grew up in an environment where there was a lot of money that came through the environment. How the people were getting it, might not always been cool, or maybe it was, but sometimes they feel that that's their money story. Oh, I am accustomed to money, right? But if they are struggling to maintain it, or it's come and go, they can probably go back and say, yeah, I did see a lot of money coming into the environment in which I grew up in, but I didn't really see any growth from it. I saw the money come and go and leave like really, really quickly. This could be a high connection to where you may find yourself as it relates to money now. Does this make sense to you guys? Somebody put yes in the comments if this is making sense. Or if, even if you're getting a new level of awareness or some type of shift, or is becoming even more clear as you relay it to your own personal situation or circumstance, or your relationship with money. As I said before, I'm going to break it down. Like, are you and your money single, or is it complicated? Are you in a relationship? Are you engaged to your money? Um, are you married to your money, or have you been through a divorce with your money a couple of times, right? So I'm going to break it down in that essence. But before I do, I want to share the fact that um, our relationship with money is established from a subconscious level. Now, I talk about the mind often and our thinking and our subconscious level. It's like that level that just kind of soaks everything in and it stores it, even if we aren't aware. Somebody put even if we aren't aware in the comments, because that's important, because most oftentimes we're not aware of what our relationship is with money. We're not aware of the subconscious paradigm or thoughts that we have as it relates to our money. And when I say paradigm, I mean subconscious planning. It's like, I mean, programming. It's like this subconscious programming that we have about money that we don't really think about. We just kind of doing our thing. We may be creating a new offer for those of you who are business owners. We may be taking on a new opportunity. Maybe if you're a brick and mortar owner, maybe you've opened a second location or a new location, a bigger location. If you're a coach or consultant, maybe you've launched a new program. All the ways that we incorporate bringing money into our life, irregardless of what we're doing, there's a subconscious program that's happening all the time, whether we know it or not. And then there's our conscious thinking. That's the thought that may say, um, I'm really getting money. Let me use this example. I'm gonna go back to subconscious. So, a person who comes from a very affluent family who has established levels of wealth, it's been passed down, its legacy, their stability. They don't really have to worry about it's just kind of working for itself. A person who grew up in that environment may subconsciously have a wealth building programming, a wealth building paradigm that they don't have to think about. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, put yes in the comments if this makes sense to you all. This person may already have subconsciously have a wealth creating, wealth building conscious in their mind, meaning they don't have to work as much for it. They just kind of automatically exude what's needed to attract money into their life. They kind of automatically make good decisions when it comes to money because it's like this subconscious programming. Now we know that can work both ways, right? So that same example can work both ways. So you can have a subconscious programming as it relates to money where you sabotage it often, where you run from opportunities that align and help you to produce more money. It's like you can't see that as being a money opportunity or a money possibility because that's not what's in your subconscious programming. So maybe your subconscious programming created actually a fear around spending money, right? A fear around not having enough, right? Or this false narrative that you're just going to loosely spend the money. So our subconscious programming is really huge. And what I do, because I love scripture so much, guys. So I'm a kingdom entrepreneur, and I find that there are many things in scripture that New Age is using and Scientology and all these things that were foundationally written in scripture that we don't always learn when we go to church, right? We might be running around the church shouting and we're in the spirit and all of those things. But I also believe that that scripture, that the Bible is very practical and very prosperous if we are in alignment with the prosperity that's in the word, right? So a lot of times when I'm reading scripture as a certified life coach and business coach, I see entrepreneurial strategy. I see aha moments. I see revelation about how we're living and having our being in life and the desire that God has for us to step into that awareness and be more prosperous. So when we think about subconscious programming, one of the things that I do with my clients a lot is help them to retrain their thinking, to retrain their brain. You guys may have seen me post about affirmations. I created an affirmation guide. People think that just saying affirmations is going to magically make things appear, but the consistency in it and saying the right affirmations actually begins to create a retraining of your mind about things, right? And a lot of times, if we're wanting to change our relationship with money, it's about retraining that subconscious programming that we may not be aware of, limiting beliefs or thoughts that are keeping us from stepping into new higher realms of money, right? It's all our money mindset and just reprogramming what we actually think, and also becoming aware of what's really true. Because what most of you think is true about money, I can almost guarantee it's not. It's not. Many of us have been taught to get real busy, um, just do. And but I find that it's in the place of stillness, right, that we create our most powerful, impactful, most aligned opportunities for our life and our business. So, relationship with money. Remember, I said I'm gonna break it down like you're really in a relationship with your money, whether you're single, whether it's complicated, whether you're in a relationship, you've gotten engaged to your money, you're married to your money, or maybe you keep kind of like divorcing your money. You guys ready? If you guys are coming on and you haven't shared, do me a favor and share or tag someone that you think would find value in this training on today. Tag someone, let them know that we're getting clear on our relationship with money. Also, for those of you who really want to deep dive, I'm doing a 1 day masterclass called Your Money Mindset. It is this Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 o'clock Central Time. Now, it's at a great investment rate right now, but on Friday, the price increases by $200. So if you're looking to get in, renewfulcircle.com/money, renewfulcircle.com/money. It's my money mindset masterclass. So your relationship with money. So if you and your money are single, right, and ready to mingle, and I kind of was I had like this little feeling about the single aspect that I'm going to share, because I'm single at this time. I was married for about 14 years. I've been divorced now for 3 years, a little over 3 years maybe. And I am single, but I am whole in my singleness. So I thought it was important that I share, because we are talking about relationships, that being single doesn't mean that you're not whole, right? But we're going to use this as it relates to money just to make it practical, right? So single and ready to mingle. This may be the stage where you're broke, you hardly ever have, money to spare. Money doesn't stay long, right? So if you and your money are single, then this may be what's occurring. If it's complicated between you and your money, right? That means you don't know when it's coming or when it's going out. You know, I believe in trust. I believe in manifesting. I don't always have to know the how, right? But I believe that there's a space of awareness that helps you get in a greater space of alignment when you kind of know what's going on, right? But when relationships are complicated, you really don't really you can't really classify the relationship. You really don't know what's going on. How many of you are in something that's complicated right now? It doesn't even have to be your money, but you understand what I mean by it's complicated. And in this stage, you may not know when it's coming or going. You may be a little careless with it. You're just not as intentional. That's your relationship with money if it's complicated. Um, Now, if you're finally in a relationship with your money, this is what it may look like. This is when you start being more intentional. So you're in a position where you're actually saving money. But there's still a little uncertainty. So, you guys, I believe, so I'm going to kind of interject a little bit, because I believe that relationships, like real human interaction relationships, are 85% of the success in our life and our business, the quality of those relationships. And in my singleness, in a space where I'm considering dating, so I haven't dated the entire time that I've been divorced. I just really wanted to get centered on who I've become and what I really desired. But I found three things that I think are super important for those of you who are looking to date, right? That there is chemistry in whoever you're going to get with. Most people don't have a problem with that when they hook up, right? Then that there's compatibility, right? Compatibility. And then that there's communication. I also feel there's three stages: dating, courting, and marriage. Everybody don't rock like that. But for me, dating is for collecting data. Um, when you are courting, that's when you and the person have agreed to commit and be committed to one another in with the intentions of getting married. So when I think about your relationship with money, like I'm saying, you're finally in a relationship with your money. This may very well be the stage um, where, like, maybe you're teetering right before courtship, right? You've collected data, you've kind of made up in your mind, even if you haven't communicated with the person, that you wouldn't mind being committed to them. So maybe you stop seeing people, but you haven't quite had the conversation with the person. Like, you're have you ever heard of people who've gotten in a relationship with somebody and they haven't really communicated that they're in a relationship? They haven't had that conversation about it. So this may be where this is, right? So finally, you're in a relationship. This is when you start being more intentional. So you understand what the possibilities are for your money. You know how it feels to have consistency as it relates to the area of money. You're finally in a relationship with money. This is when you're becoming aware. You're actually looking at opportunities differently. You know what space you're in with your money, and you have a bigger picture and idea of what you want your money to do for your life and your business, right? This finally you're in a relationship. Now you're engaged. So this goes back to where I was speaking on um, courtship. I believe in courtship. This is where you and your money have made a commitment to one another. You've had a conversation, you're committed, there's stability. You begin recognizing the vision of what you and your money are going to be able to do, what you're setting out to do. Of course, you established a vision before, but now you're recognizing it, right? You have some disposable money. It's working for you, but it's not maximized, right? It's not maximized. So this is when you're courting your money or you're committed to it. Now, when your relationship, when you're married to your money, you and your money have decided to take it a step further outside of courtship, right? That means you are in a place where you're keeping the money, right? Doesn't mean you're not spending, right? You've established other ways of earning the revenue. It's growing, you're enjoying it. There's a sense of peace and a sense of freedom that's happening because of this commitment that you've made with your money, this marriage commitment that you've made with your money. Am I making sense? Somebody put yes in the comments if it's making sense. And then, unfortunately, because it's real, this is real life, right? I myself have experienced this. There's also a space where you may divorce your money. And this may be where um, maybe your ability to manage the money wasn't there. Maybe you didn't check the boxes of compatibility, um, chemistry, and communication. Maybe you didn't check those boxes before you began marrying the money. So this may look like you in a job that you don't love, or there's no fulfillment in your life from how you're earning your money. There's no free time. And so it begins to be this thing where you don't even desire to manage it properly, right? Because you didn't check those boxes and find out, what's my communication style with money? I'm going to be deep diving into these things, helping you to identify your relationship with money, your money story, how to get in alignment with a new level of abundance as it relates to money in your life, all the things on this Saturday in our Money Mindset Masterclass. I'd love for you to come, guys. My life has changed tremendously. I have manifested something so major, right? But there's one little thing that's off about it. So I realized that for many people, um, and this is kind of like in the abundance aspect and the manifesting aspect here, there's also this thing called desperation, or like where you desire it so much there's no like certainty about it. It creates this need to be really busy to chase it. And you guys know when you chase stuff it usually runs away. So what I'm going to do is help you get in alignment so that you're balanced, so that there's not a space of desperation about you wanting more money in your life or in your business, but there's a level of certainty. There's a level of certainty. That's when you're in that marriage stage of relationships as it relates to your money. I hope this brought a new level of awareness for you guys. I hope it was impactful for you. I'd love for you to join me for the Money Mindset Masterclass this Saturday. It's only 2 days away. We're not taking all year to determine if this is right for you, if you feel led, if you want to establish a new relationship with your money. You're going to have the opportunity to do that. RenewFullCircle.com. If someone can scribe this, if you're still on, RenewFullCircle.com/money. It's simple though. RenewFullCircle.com/money. I think that money leaves the hands of people quicker when they are operating from their talents and not necessarily their gifts. And what I mean by this is so many people are doing things from the space of where they're talented, right? But they don't get to include their gifts in it. So there's no fulfillment, there's no certainty, um, there's no peace about the whole thing. And I believe you need peace to prosper. That's my take on today, your relationship with money. What was your relationship with money? If you come back on the replay and you're ever so bold, I'd love for you to share. Thank you so much, Andrea, for sharing that link in the comments. Share, what do you think your relationship with money is? Are you single? Is it complicated? Are you finally in a relationship? Are you engaged to your money? Are you married to your money? Or are you kind of divorcing it kind of often? We're going to deep dive on those things inside our Money Mindset Masterclass, as well as your money story. You're going to identify it, see how to take your story, shift it, and get in alignment with your next level of, let's wait for the truck, your next level of abundance and prosperity. That's my take on today. You guys be blessed. I'll see many of you in the Money Mindset Masterclass. Peace. I see. Thank you, Andrea, for sharing, for scribing, uh, for communicating. I appreciate and love you. And the other people who shared as well. Thanks.